Hey, what's going on? StratSoldier here with the weekend shift, the only official show for the Strat on the weekend. That's right. Michael Dang is at home. We got Rob Smith at home. They are chilling. You are with me, the StratSoldier, and we are going to go through it. It was a great week for the Strat. Man, it was a great week for the Strat. Hey, I can't wait to go through the broader averages because they took them down and they brought them up. And if you didn't know the Strat and you didn't know where to go, you probably got wrecked and he was out here on Twitter pouting like everybody else. Wait, but the Fed is this is a family show, so I'm gonna say the Fed is fedding with us. The Fed is fedding with us. We bring them up, they take them up, we bring them down, we trade the broadening formations. Hey, if you want to be in real quick, if you want to be in with us on the live stream with Rob Smith, Smith's in the Black, use the promo code StratSoldier 2022, no spaces. That's going to get you in the live room with us. That'll give you 3 months for only $99 a month. And if you trade percentages, that's 50% off. Okay, that's easy stuff. All right, how many people in the chat? This thing is blowing up. I ain't even got to the guest yet. I ain't even talked about it. I ain't even said his name yet. He's out there on Twitter though. How many people in the chat? I see Sunshine from the UK, Rob C from the UK. We are international. JS, what is going on? We got the regular crew out here. Swiss man from Switzerland. Who else is out here? We got the old salty trader. Check him out. He definitely proves that the Strat works on all time frames. He trades stuff on 7-second cycles. Sounds crazy, but he does it. How many people in the chat? Give it to me. What's going on, John? What's up, Bill? How many people? We got June. We got Julian from Kansas. Heck yeah. ATL in the house. Man, it is going on. The chat is rolling. Hey, give me a number in the chat. How many people so far? We got New York. We got 40. Give me 50. Because you got to have 50 before you have 100, right? So give me 100. Let's do it. This is the Strat, and this is the weekend shift. Let's go over. We believe there are only 3 ways anything can trade, right? Scenario 1, 2, and 3. And that's what we're going to go over here real quick before we get our guest on here, because we got to go through the basics. All right. This is Trading View. These are all my charts up all at once. This is how I trade. Okay. This is Trading View Pro Plus. Get with me if you want to get a deal in on this. I have all my charts up just like this: the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and the 60. All right. I have all 4 charts up like this to give me and show me time frame continuity. It also helps me gauge participants by price and time. Again, that's what we do here in the Strat. We create winning positions, add to them, and defend them with tight stops. All 4 charts up just like this. All right. So let's go through the scenarios real quick. There are only 3 ways anything can trade, and that is scenario 1. Let's go through scenario 1. Scenario 1 does not take out either side of the previous range. I got the candles on for the kids in the back that can't see very well. Get closer to your screen. This is scenario 1. Notice it doesn't take out either side of this previous range. Just go ahead and mark it. Look at that. Bam. Doesn't take out either side of the previous range, stuck in that. You see that? Scenario 1. All right. That's the price consolidating. Scenario 2 takes out one side of the previous range, only one side. And then a series of scenario 2s is considered a trend. Okay. So you see all these 2s, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right. And then here's your scenario 2s down. Again, only takes out one side of the previous range. Scenario 2 down, 2, 2, 2. And then even though this is green, this is still a 2 down. Okay. It's still identified as a 2 down. And then we combine these things to find our Strat reversals. For example, 2 down, 2 up. Boom, you're in. Now we're going to the moon. All right. 2-2 reversal to the upside on the weeks. If you know about the Strat reversals, you were able to get in on that. All right. And then you knew where to cut it because you got in here. You worked it all the way up here, got a little funky, didn't have to cut it, but then you got your scenario 3 down. A scenario 3 takes out both sides of the previous range, all right? Scenario 3 takes out both sides of the previous range. And that's something I want to know about, because if I bought this thing out in the morning, and let's get a big long horizontal bar here. If I bought this thing in the morning and I walked away from it thinking I'm good because it's 2 up, but then I come back to it later on and this thing is scenario 3, I want to know about that, because that means they bought it up and sold it down in that same time frame. Okay, on a smaller time frame, this is your broadening formation. All right, we're going to get into it, but right here, see that they bought it up, sold it down. Oh, that's rough. That is rough. You don't know if you don't know what you're looking at, if you don't know what you're looking at, you don't know what you're looking for, you would have got wrecked. Okay, this is what protects us. All right, keeps those. We know where to put our stops based on these scenarios. We know where to put our entries based on these scenarios. All right, so that's and look at this. It repeats. Okay, it repeats. A lot of people say, not one trading system works in all markets. That might have been true before the strat, but the strat scenarios stay the same. We use 3 universal truths to create these winning positions: actionable signals, time frame continuity, broadening formations. It doesn't change. Bear market, bull market, sideways ain't doing that market. It stays the same, right? All right, here we go. So, and again, notice it all stays the same. All right. Let's go through what happened in the broader averages. Like I said, it was a great strat week, but the Fed is Feding with us. We're still outside month in the SPY, scenario 3, outside month. And then here's your weeks, okay? It started as a 2 down on the week in the SPY, 2 down. Then they started rallying back up. Here's your days. Here's your days. All right. Here's your 2s. 2, 2, 2, 2. There's actually that's a 2, 2, 2, 2 down. Then you got a couple, here's your scenario 1 right there on your daily. Okay. No reason to get excited. One of my favorite lines from Jimi Hendrix. No reason to get excited. Goes 2 up, but then comes right back down. These days, we're messing with people big time. Okay, these days right here. And then here's your 60s. 60s are a major time frame. Okay, 60s major time frame. Here's your 60s for these few days from the 24th to the 28th. Let's go ahead and make the broadening formation on that real quick, because it's just easy to see on these 60s. Look at that. All right. And it's all kind of consolidating in these right here. Here's your top. I'd say that's the top right there. So we could probably draw it a little different. Let's draw the broadening formation. Let's go ahead and adjust it right there. Yep. Higher highs, lower lows. But you can see how from here to here, the rest of all the price was just stuck in here. Now, this was exciting here. People got excited at the end of Friday, Thursday. All right. But it was still stuck in all this, from here to here. So, when people started doing this, when it started going 2-2 reversal in the 60s here, started going up, and even the last 3-2 at the end of the day, Friday, people were getting excited, buying stuff way at the bottom. That was cool. For me, I'm going to where the buyers already are and were, and that was XLE. I don't want to take any steam out of what, or any thunder out of what our guest is going to talk about, but that's where I went. So that's the SPY. And then we're setting up for let's go ahead and blow this up, and then we're going to get our guest going, because we're setting up for a 2-2 reversal up on the week. Look at that. Here's our broadening formation. All right. The top of that is 480.11. And if this thing goes in force next week, 2-2 reversal up on the week in the SPY, that's going to be right at 443.97. Okay. Will it do it? Will it do it? We will see. And I'm looking for anything if this goes 2-2 reversal up on the week, I'm looking for anything taking out last week's highs. Why? Because the buyers are already there. All right. And that's what I'm going to do. Again, let me get our guest on here. I don't want to take up too much time and then take anything away from him. We're talking to Ray Gentsman. Ray Gentsman, he's got a pretty good following on Twitter. He's got his own thing going on. Used to do Twitch, used to do a lot of things, and still does it. And look at all the people in the chat. This thing is amazing, blowing up. Thank you so much. And we're going to talk about the Strat Basics. Okay, we talk about all these awesome things with the Strat. We talk about all these neat things and the tricks but I want to get back to the basics, because people with these Fed hikes, it's going to get harder. and it's going to get harder. And if you don't know the strat, you don't know where to go, you're going to get lost. Look at the Dow, same thing. SPY. Okay, here's the SPY. Here's the Dow. All right, still outside month. All right, in the Dow Jones, outside month. And then QQQ just getting wrecked. 2-2 continuation down on the month. Now it does have that, again, still it has that, I'd say the ugly hammer. I wouldn't call that a hammer, it's an ugly hammer. But it's still got that 2-2 reversal setup on the week right there. You can see that in my third quadrant up here, upper left. And, you know, all the broader averages are pretty much doing the same thing. So let's see what's going on next week. I don't want to take anything else. I want to keep going, but I don't want to take anything from Ray. So we're going to talk about the Strat Basics, and we're also going to talk about TTM. Okay, TTM is an indicator that he uses. I don't know nothing about it, so he's going to teach me. So go ahead, Ray. How you doing, man? Come on in,
man. All right, how are you?
Pretty good, really good. It was like I said, it was a great strat week. I kept myself out of trouble. I stayed in XLE because that's where the buyers are. And then, hey, work is busy. So I stayed on my stuff. I stayed where I'm at and holding positions because I'm a tank and only got so many rounds in that tank. And I'm just chilling. Go ahead.
Definitely. All right. So a little bit about me. Again, like Cyberdog said, I used the Ttm Squeeze. We both have something in common. We both are former military. I was the weekend warrior. So like, we always like to look at things in a very organized and structured way. We like to have rules and things of that nature. And that's was like, whenever I stumbled upon the strat, a guy named FICO Jordan, we both know that. I don't know if everybody else here knows. He put me onto the strat. I actually, around this time last year. So it's either a couple of days, give or take. It's either was today or it was like the 26th or something like that. So it's literally, this is like the 1 year mark of me knowing the strat. And it was just like, this is too easy. I don't have to say, all right, if these two lines cross, I just hop in. You know what I mean? Because that's normally what a lot of people look at. It's like, all right, these two lines cross. All right, so I'm in. All right, how long do I stay in? You know what I mean? And that was like always the issue, because around that time last year and a lot of, the start of the pandemic, there was so many furus out here where it was like so much bad information being pumped. I remember there was this one person who said, like, because I'm more of an option trader, they said the Greeks don't matter. And it's like,
oh man, you about to get me fired up, Ray. I told you I was going to let you talk and do your thing. But you don't get me fired up because you already got me going with the squiggly wigglies, the MACD and RSI and stuff like that. And you're right. That's what, and a lot of military sees the strat, and we like it a lot because it's structured, organized. I know when to get in, I know when to get out, and that's it. And I'm not waiting for these two things to converge and wait for it. Yep. Okay. So it crosses. Neat. I bought my put, or 13 crossed the 30. Time to buy my put, and yeah, you're right. It doesn't tell you how long you should stay in. You know what I mean? It doesn't tell you what's going to happen next. You go ahead, Ray, because I'm gonna eat up your time. Go ahead, man. You got me fired up. You got me going already, man. This is gonna be good.
I got you. But yeah, just also, just even what we were talking about before, like when it comes to the strat, it's the only thing that actually tells you how to like actually look at the time frames in conjunction with each other. Because with other systems, a lot of times you mark your support resistance on 1 week and day, and then you just camp out on the 15-minute, and that doesn't necessarily always work out. You know what I'm saying? There are potential winning strategies out there, but at the same time, a lot of people don't really understand it or understand the why, because sometimes there isn't really a why. Where the strat, there is concrete. There's, all right, this is what you do. This is why you do it. This is why you would get out here. This is why this one didn't go as far as the other one. Because like, for instance, if there's a thing between two different plays, right? And you're like, all right, this one went more. This one had a bigger pop than this other play. Why? There's not necessarily any catalyst in it. But then what you would do is you'd be like, all right, what sector are those in? What's that sector doing? Is that sector a 2 up in force? It's a 2 up in force. So that made sense. Like, for instance, can I share my screen?
You can share your screen, man. You already got me fired up. I can't even contain it. Yep, there you go. And you're exactly right. We go where the buyers are, or we go where the sellers are right now. Again, that's why I have all 4 charts up at the same time so I can see what is going on. Do I have buyers on the month? Yes. Buyers on the week? Yes. Okay, so the daily was getting wrecked. All right, let's just say yesterday was getting wrecked. And then today, there's buyers there on the day. The day is green and the 60s are green. So that means they're buying it right now on the 60 and they're buying it today on the daily. And if I have all 4 time frames up and it's all full time frame continuity, that lets me know there's buyers there. Or even if it's red, it's all they're selling this thing. I don't care about a freaking, if they're selling it, just this, I'm gonna go with the time frame with the trend. If they're selling something and they're selling it hard, what makes you think this 2T reversal in the 60 is going to go very far? And that was a really good comment that you said. Why, you know what I mean? You the better you get, you can do all kind of crazy stuff with the strat. Like I said, I said before, I am a tank, but I got a machine gun on top of that tank, and I'll do a day trade all day. I'll do a day trade real quick and get me some. But I know for a fact that 60, that 2T reversal on the 60 might only be good just for this one day, because they're buying it today, they're buying it, on the 60s, they're buying it on the day. But these weeklies and monthlies, it's getting wrecked. So as soon as that thing goes reversal down on the 60s, I'm taking my profit, boom, I'm out, I'm walking. You know what I mean? Exactly. And I'm not letting this turn into a loser. And that's a really good point you just said right there. Is the sector too up? So when everybody was like trying to buy tech on Friday, that's what I was trying to allude to. When everybody's buying tech on Friday because everything is, because the SPY went 3-2 up, I'm over here hanging out on XLE because XLE has already got buyers on the month, already got buyers on the week. You know what I mean? Outside week up, and on the daily and the 60s. And I know where to go. I know, and that's what go ahead.
And it had XLE was already a 2-1-2 reversal on the year. So we already directional on the year as well. Yeah, because one of the examples I got is Oxy. So Oxy is in XLE. So with the TTM Squeeze, the TTM Squeeze is by John Carter. And basically what the TTM Squeeze combines the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channels.
Okay.
So basically, if the Bollinger Bands are completely enclosed within the Keltner channels, that indicates a period of very low volatility, basically to not really just get too deep into it. But that's what basically is the mixture. The TTM Squeeze is a mixture of the Bollinger Bands and the Keltner channels. Right.
Okay.
So the zero line, I guess that's what it's called. When price is above the zero line and it's this light blue color, I don't know the specific color. I'm pretty sure somebody out there probably knows. But when it's that light blue color, that basically means it has momentum to the upside. Now, when it starts to turn to that dark blue color, that means it's cooling off. The momentum is cooling off. All right. When it's below the zero line and it's red, that means it's momentum to the downside. When it starts to turn yellow, that means it's cooling off.
Okay.
So I want to say it was Thursday. So let me go.
Yeah, look at him. Look at why you're doing that. Hey, while you're doing that, everybody in the chat, new chat rules, real quick. New chat rules. This is because of Rob. When Rob Smith was on here, we had a lot of people with questions in the chat, and I love you guys. There was other people in here answering those questions. It was hard for me to see who had questions still. So new chat rules, just real quick. I want you, the community, to keep talking to each other, keep answering questions, have fun in there. But for people that have questions, put a question mark before your question. That way, when I'm scrolling through, I can easily see, okay, that person has a question, and I'll ask Ray whatever questions you got. Put your questions in the chat, question mark first, and there you go. Here's one from, before you get in here, Tim, what time frame from left to right? What time frames are we looking at here, Ray?
All right, so I was just on the daily, but I just need to find something real quick. A lot of times during the trading hours, I'm looking at 30, 15, and 5. And then I'll swap out like the 30. I'll just go double check. I'll be like, all right, what's the hour doing? Then I'll go to the 4 hour just to make sure I'm not missing anything. And then I'll go to the daily. But going into the trading day, I already know if it's directional on the week. I already know if it's directional on the month. I'm always checking those every day before we even go into the trading day, just in case I forget. Sometimes we all forget and, forget, all right, this is directional, or this wasn't directional, or this was at first the 2-1-2 reversal on the year like Oxy was, but then it went back below. So it wasn't in force until it went back in force. Was this Tuesday? So, I'm always checking those. Is it in force? Is it not in force? All right. If it's not in force, let me make sure I still have that line there. So whenever it goes back in force, I'll get an alert or something of that nature.
That's fantastic. I like that. So your time frames, you're looking at the bigger ones to the small ones. I see 3 charts daily,
Yeah, I'm about to
15
swap it
and then
back to the
5.
30.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like usually actually intraday, I'm 30, 15, and 5. But
Okay.
like whenever I'm marking up my charts, I'm looking at, the year, quarter, month. And it's usually the one to the left, how I do it, like how I have structure is I
Hmm.
use the one furthest to the left and I change that one the most. And I leave the other two the same instead of, how you'll start changing
Yeah.
one and then you'll change another one. Then all the time
Hmm.
frames are all thrown off and now you got to go change all of them
Hmm.
back to a time frame that you want it to
Yep.
be. So that's how I like organize and whatnot.
I like
So the other aspect of the TTM squeeze, at least with this one, so this script that I'm using in TradingView is called TTM Squeeze Pro by Beardy Fred. Now it's based on the John Carter's version. So basically what happened is if you're using Thinkorswim, there's a TTM squeeze in there. It's under John Carter. Just go to studies, look under John Carter, you'll find the TTM squeeze. Now what ended up happening was I don't know if it's within the last year or was it 2 years ago. He came with the upgraded version, which is the TTM Squeeze Pro. That cost $1,000. Here's a way for you to have that without paying $1,000. This one right here, this
Hey,
Beardy
is that
Fred one.
$1,000 a month or $1,000 like a year? Damn.
That's up front. So it's a one-time payment of $1,000. So for most people, they use TradingView, so you can get that by just using this one right here. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free, and
There you go.
it's slightly off. It's not even noticeable. It's slightly off from the actual paid version. All right.
Hmm. Hmm.
So these dots, because people are gonna wonder what these dots are. All right. So what happens is black dot low squeeze. All right. So the black dot is a low squeeze. Red dot is a mid squeeze, and an orange dot, which I don't know if I have one on here. Here you go. Is the highest squeeze. So from low to high is black, red, then orange. All right. So what happens is when you have an orange dot, in order for you to know that the high squeeze has basically started to fire, is when it goes from orange to red. All
Okay.
right. And then once the red has been fired, it'll go from red to black. When it's completely fired, that last black dot will go to green. And that's how you know you don't have a squeeze and that it's fired. Now, whenever it's basically starting to load back up, you'll see it go from green to black. And then if it wants to get in an even tighter squeeze, it'll go to red or go to orange. So that's
Okay.
basically the indicator and how
So
it looks.
so squeezing, what are we squeezing though? I mean, I know, and I am not to be silly. I'm not definitely. Hopefully, I'm not asking a silly question, but just for people that are, like I said, for the kids in the back, what are we squeezing?
Basically, the way I look at it in the squeeze, because I don't have probably the perfect terminology of it, but
Mhm.
basically, like a squeeze to me is almost like an inside candle break, right? There's a
Okay.
consolidation because that's basically what the Bollinger Bands do. They consolidate with, if people know about the Bollinger Band
Hmm.
indicator, it
Yep.
gets tight, and then once it's basically tight, you know it's going to fire. And the thing used to be you don't know which direction it's going to fire, which is the problem with that. But with the strat, we know which direction it's going, right? So basically, just like an inside candle, things consolidate, things get in a tighter range. Well, eventually it has to burst out of that range. And that's all the basically the indicator
Okay.
helps you do. That
Okay.
it's basically firing out of that tight range of the Keltner channel and Bollinger Band.
So,
So it's
so
very much similar to like an inside break. But go ahead.
okay. Okay. Question in the chat says, can you? Well, okay. Remember this question because we're not going to go into this just yet. But he wants to
Hmm.
talk about how you look for trades before you execute trades. Just keep that in your mind. Keep
Hmm.
that in your mind. Um, but Bill's got a good one. So what I'm seeing here is looking at my chart here, looking at your chart on the 15-minute. I see where the price is 2-2 down, 2-2 down, and then I see and that's I say 2-2 reversal back up on Oxy right there, and I see this
About this one.
yep, right there.
Mhm.
That's why I love the strat. That's why I love the strat because you know exactly what I'm talking about. But and then so correlate, yeah, and now take your yep, right there, and then take your cursor and move it down,
Move it.
straight down, and then yeah, I see where that kind of coincides with what I'm seeing there. You see the red, yellow, and then
And it's
it gets
starting to
real
cool off.
tight, like you were saying, and then it really takes off. So I like that because our entry would be that 31. I think you got it marked
83.
31.83.
Yep. Let
Yep.
me delete this.
So, and that's awesome. That's what I would get in at. But and then so when you're working options, are you looking at these blue this blue area as soon as it flips? Are you getting in when it turns blue like that? Or are you getting in when it, you know what I mean? Where are you getting in at?
So I'm
Go ahead.
gonna get in the same way. I just
Mhm.
want confirmation across all the time frames. So right.
Okay.
So basically, what's going on and how I do the squeeze, which is probably different from most people, is I want them to line up at the exact same time. So for instance, if this one is blue like here,
Mhm.
and this one is red, and this one is the same way, right? It's red. So there's confliction, right?
Okay.
Versus where here they're all turning yellow all at the same time. You see what
Ah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So, and then what I like to see is, all right, if this is turning yellow and I have a squeeze on the 5 minute, right? And you
Mhm.
see right here, you have the red dots. So that means that's a high squeeze.
Mhm.
And then you're getting the cool off on the 15 minute as well as on the 30. That means once this starts to fire, it's not going to have any type of let me see, restrictions basically from the higher time frames, right? So like for instance, even with the non-SMA, people who just take whenever price gets above the non-SMA, well, what if it's not above it on the hour time frame, right? What's going to happen is that's where you get that pullback. It's going to hit the non-SMA on the hour time frame and then pull back and eventually give price time to get above it on the hour if it wants to get above it. So
Right.
whenever I'm lining up the trades with the TTM squeeze, I want to make sure I'm not going to have any type of pullback on the higher time frame, right? So if
That's
it's
smart.
firing on the 5 minute, but the 30 minute look like it's about to fire to the downside, that's obviously confliction. That's probably not going to last long because we know the higher the time frame, the stronger, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Now
I,
that you're taking like the what we do with the time frame continuity and looking for all the same color. You're doing this with the TTM and saying, okay, all of this is turning blue on all time frames. I can hold this option. I ain't got to worry about it. I
right,
like that. Keep
or I
going.
can actually hold the squeeze because here's the thing with the squeeze.
Okay.
Here's the issue with it. When you see that the squeeze is firing, you're gonna get caught up in it and in the conviction that it's firing. It can't start pulling back. Because what if it fires, right? Sometimes in the past, it would fire and then start pulling back, and I'll be like, I'm finna hold that. It doesn't make sense though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because and what
Yeah.
I would find is on the higher time frame, it was running into that roadblock. Because on the
Mhm.
higher time frame, it really wanted to fire to the downside.
Yeah.
So yeah, it popped up for a little bit, but just for it to return back to the downside. So that would be how people get caught up in the TTM squeeze that don't know the strat and don't know how to put the time frames together. They'll hold that squeeze thinking that it's going to eventually go back up because there's going to be a pullback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when
Hmm.
price shoots up very fast, it's going to pull back very fast too. But
Because people are.
oftentimes
Yep.
it will go back up. That's just,
Yep.
how if it goes up quick, it's going to fall quick.
Right, because
Um,
there's people out there doing, and yeah, to your point, there's people out there doing different things. You know what I mean? Yeah, they've been holding this forever and they're waiting for that pop. So finally it got to 34.19. I'm selling it. I don't care if it keeps going, they're selling it. You know what I mean? And
right.
then for even stratters, um, we got people that, Sarah preaches just take the magnitude. And you know what I mean? I'm a person that wants to hold through all that. So there's people doing all kind of different things. I like that a lot. I like how you're using that on Oxy on the 15 minute there.
Mhm.
Let's just say you got in on that. I'm going to say 3-2 reversal back up.
Right
Yep.
here.
And
Yep.
yep. And I see all this blue. I'm holding my calls and I'm holding my calls. It's going up, 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 up. I see a 2-2 reversal back down and I look down at my, how would you play that? How would you, so I got a 2-2 at the very top of the 15 minute.
You
Keep
talking about
going
this
up.
one right here or up
Yep, yep, that screen. Yep. Yep. I can do like this on
right here?
your left screen, all the way up, and then you got a 2-2 reversal back down. No, all the way up. It's all the way at the top.
All the way at the
Right.
top?
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
you talking about up here?
Yep, yep, right there. Yep, right there. That guy. And then
Yeah, this
okay,
is the
so
30
then
minute.
so you're holding your calls, and then you
Mhm.
look down and you see your TTM is blue, and you said
That
that's
darker
when it's
blue
cooling
color.
off. Yep. And
Yeah,
you
for me personally, if with
mm-hmm,
options,
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be out this contract. Depending on, see, here's the thing with options, and
Okay.
it's gonna depend on your expiration date.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Of course.
this is what the thing I've been seeing. Like a lot of times with the strat, if you got a winning position, you need to give yourself more time, right? A perfect example of that, because I actually meant to change it, so I'll change this one. Because I want to show you something more to the downside. But as far as like how I would have played it, I probably would have took profit if I had a weekly contract, or like let's say it expired that Friday, the next day, I'd have went ahead and hopped out. just then went ahead and took profit. Now, if I had shares, I just, stay in. I just keep holding. I wouldn't even worry about it because
Right.
this is a 30 minutes. So the higher we have to go up in time frame and be like, all right, what's going on here? And
Yep.
so
So
you see that it's also starting to cool off on the hour. What you about to
yeah, I
say?
like how that coincides with that, because that would let me know, okay, it is going to the downside, and then my indicator at my TTM saying, okay, this thing is cooling off. I'm okay with cutting this, and that
Right.
makes sense. I like that. So, and then you kind of said it here. Swiss man from Switzerland, actually from Switzerland, was awesome. He asks, what maturity do you usually buy your option for intraday? Are you buying at the money options? Are you
At
buying,
the money.
at the money?
So
And
yeah,
then,
I like to be right at the money because
mhm.
that to me what makes sense because the goal for me is to get in the money because of what happens when you go in the money, you get that intrinsic value pop and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I like to go ahead and and get
Heck
something that's
yeah.
going to be in the money. That way, just in case I want to swing it the next day, I'm swinging it in the money. I'm already up and profitable. So that's kind of like how I like to do it. I'm more comfortable with swinging if my contract is in the money.
That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Like Rob says all the time, I want my money right now.
Definitely.
Heck
Yeah. So
yeah.
the other example, because like you said, we want to go like where the money is, but
Mhm.
at the same time, to the downside, we want to go to where things are dumping. So like Neo was dumping
Neo.
horribly.
Hey,
And so like
hey, Neo, you are not the one. Okay. That's an
but
old Matrix video. Oh,
man, I
that's
used
a
to get teased about the Matrix a lot
oh man. I
because my
got a
last
question.
name is Anderson.
Heck yeah, Mr. And oh geez, you lucky told Mr. Anderson. Heck yeah. So Mr. Anderson, how are you going to use all these things? I got another question.
Hmm.
Let's see, really good questions in here. Um, let's see here. What indicator name is that puts the sectors on your chart? Let's talk about. I want you to talk about this downside stuff, and then let's
Hmm.
talk about that cool indicator in the middle on 15-minute time frame.
All right.
Let's go to let's do this thing here that you were talking about first. Let's do that.
All right, yeah. So like Neo, I swung Neo puts last weekend into this week. And the reason why
Mm-hmm.
I did that was because I knew that it was a 2-2 rev on the year in force.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday, whenever I hopped in it triggered the 2-2 year. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the 2-2 year last Friday. And so that means also there was, a directional month, a directional quarter to the downside. So I know that the year is directional to the downside, the quarter is directional to the downside, the month is directional to the downside, right? As
Yeah.
well as going into that week, even though it's just going to be a 2-2 continuation, still I have all those things in my favor, as well as just that knowing that, all right, me, because I kind of like to get in the market, people's mental. I'm like, they're
Yep.
definitely gonna drop some war news over the weekend. So that made everything gap down, right?
Yeah.
But also because I had a squeeze set up on the daily time frame. So not only am I lining these things up with the strat, right? I'm also using the TTM squeeze in conjunction with it. I'm not using the TTM squeeze first. I'm still using the strat primarily first. Then I use the TTM squeeze just in case, let's say I have a list of 10 stocks. Or will if five of them if they all have great setups, but five of them have the TTM squeeze on it, I'm probably gonna favor more towards those because it's like those are probably gonna be the ones that are gonna pop. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
as
that
you can
makes sense.
see, Neo puked.
Man, 2-2 reversal to the downside. I can see that all day. Shooter in force.
And that's why I
Man.
took it Friday. So I
Yeah.
took it Friday because of that, last Friday. And now I was like, man, I'm up on this. I got time on the contract. Let me swing that. And then
And
Monday I was up like 300, 400%.
that's what I'm talking about. I like this. And then so let's go back to your TTM indicator on the bottom.
Hmm.
I got my 2-2 reversal. I got puts. I got my entry. And then and right there, you got the crosshairs on it. I mean, and it's just confirming, you know what I mean? Downside stuff. Awesome. I like that a lot. And that could be the thing that just helps another trader. I was talking to Gunny B. He was on last week about this. And
Hmm.
he was saying when you're trading options, you got to have something else along with the strat just to keep you, because you get your nerves. You mean you do. I mean, people say, you want to trade without emotion. I mean, that strat helps us out with that stuff. But I don't care who you are. When you got options on the line, you got money on the line, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I like to be able to, I like what you're doing here because I got a 2-2 reversal to the downside. I got puts in, and I can look down. Okay. And this thing just confirms, all right, this is not going to the upside. We're good. And then, or along with that, 2-2 reversal right here, you got that hammer on the very last candle.
Yep.
And then you can say, all right, it's still red, but now I'm looking at this is setting up for a 2-2 reversal back up. I'm
Which
gonna cut
could
it. I'm
just
gonna
be
take
a
my profits.
TTO. Yeah,
It could be
exactly.
just a TTO, and but I'm gonna take my profits and I'm gonna walk. But also, you're right. I also need to know this is a look. Okay, that's a daily chart.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the daily right there. Yeah.
yeah.
So like if we went to like, cause like the 2 time frames, I like the squeezes on most. If I'm talking about like swinging or something like that, it's like the daily and the 4 hour. So
Okay.
as well as with the 4 hour time frame on that day, it was doing the same thing. So those 2 time frames are lining up again. You know what I'm saying? Because the 4 hour
Yeah.
is basically the daily. It's not split evenly in half, but it's basically the daily chart in half, right? And a
Yeah.
lot of times on the 4 hour chart, you'll notice the last 4 hour or really 3 hours of the day is a lot of times an inside candle, which as you can see here on Friday, the last 4 hours is basically like a consolidation.
That's awesome. Now, question to chat: have you done this with like weekly and monthlies? Does the TTM actually
I don't
coincide
really
with that stuff too?
I don't really use it on the weekly. To me, it doesn't. It's not a sure thing. It's not good enough for me on the weekly time frame. It doesn't
Okay.
move enough. And then again, that's a lot of time, especially with the option contract, for
Yeah.
you to watch a week pull all the way back. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of
Yeah.
time for a couple day pullback
Yeah.
versus on the daily 4 hour. To me, that's just more of a sweet spot to me. I've never done weekly or monthly, even though on this it's saying the week is squeezing to the downside, like it just released one.
Yeah.
But if the whole market decides to push up going
On
into
the
the next
daily. Yeah.
month, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to make any sense to, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That
Try to
makes
use it
sense.
that far out, especially with options. Again, if you want to buy shares, that's a different scenario. Um, but again, I use all this stuff, like I said, lining up the same way with the strap, but also I'm thinking about the mentality. So like Neo, I knew I wasn't gonna hold that because I swung puts again. I closed out that original position over the weekend. I closed it that Monday. And then I had opened up another one from this day into
Yep.
that day. But
2-1-2 continuation down. Ain't even
exactly.
gotta think about it.
And so, like, my mentality is, all right, what's coming up? What's the next thing? What's going on? Because with anything, even with the strat, Rob says you have to gauge overall market sentiment. And that is looking at, the different sectors, but also knowing where you are in the month, knowing what's coming next. So, like, for instance, the market has been dropping all month, right? So we know because Rob says always think about what the other side gonna do, right?
Yep.
It's towards the end of the month. I've been eating all month. Most people don't think like strategists. I've been eating all month. Guess what they're gonna start do? They're gonna start closing their positions. Well, people forget that buying, when you buy, you close your position by what? Selling, right? Well, if you're short in the stock and you sold to open, you buy to close the position. So some of this bounce that has happened is probably shorters closed in their position by buying to close. And then you got people who want to, beat on their chest by saying, I bought the absolute bottom. And so they're buying while people are closing their positions. That's oftentimes how we get those, TTOs. It's ill-timed. People hopping in thinking that move is over.
Hey, it's the Ray Gentsman show with the weekend shift. He's telling it all. I ain't got nothing to say. Hey, he's doing it. That's awesome. And you're exactly right. That's how we're taking out stops. And again, you said bouncing. That's okay. This is the weekend shift. This is a safe place. That's okay. But price aggregates. Okay, price
Right.
aggregates, and it doesn't have momentum. It doesn't have a mass. It can't bounce. All those things. What I'm saying is, I'm going along with what you said. In order for me to buy something, someone has to close their position. And that's how we use our reversals. 2-2 reversal to the upside, hammer and force. Bam. I know there's buyers here, and that's where Sarah talks about the pivot machine gun to the upside. We're taking out stops. Bam, 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 bam. And then Neo on the downside, we're looking at downside stuff. Same thing. People ill-timed, buying ill-timed positions to the long positions. and to the upside, ill-timed, and then people, you know, they're getting wrecked. And like I said, it is a pivot machine gun to the downside, because we're taking out stops to the downside. But I like to say falling down the stairs, because they can do whatever I want. You got that one ant that's falling down the stairs, and she kind of grabs on the rails and she falls down real slow, and she's like, "Oh Lord, help Jesus, help me, Jesus!" And she's trying to buy calls and puts and all that stuff while trying to save herself. Just fall. You know
like
what I mean?
Peter Griffin. If Peter Griffin falls down the steps.
Yeah, ripping down the stairs. Exactly right. So I like to say falling down the stairs, because they're doing anything to not do that. A good so I'm getting Sunshine asked. And all right, Sunshine asking, a lot of people are. Sunshine is she's in here every day, so she's kind of like the chat leader, and so she's bringing this up as well. We want to talk about the sector indicator in the middle here on the 15-minute, and they're gonna freak out if you don't say nothing about it.
Sector performance by V Trader. I want to say this guy was
sector performance by who?
V Trader 321. I think this guy used to be like an Alex
Sector. All kind of freebies out here. Sector
performance by V Trader. So yeah,
sector
that's
performance.
That's this indicator right here.
So I like that. Now, does that get in the way when you're trading?
Nah, not for me.
Okay. I like to have I do like to have I have all my watch lists up with the sectors, but I like what you're doing here as an indicator on your chart.
I have that too. Like, so like it's hidden over here, but like I have my watch list organized by sector. So like if something is running over here, like if XLF is taking off, and then I'll go to XLF and be like, all right, these are the stocks that I have.
You've been watching, you've been learning. Hey, you're the best guy on here so far. Because I do this this is episode 20, and I've been you know what I mean, and I've been doing this for 2 years now, 2.5 years, and I've been telling people, here's your sectors, go to where the buyers are, and if XLE is green, have a watch list of all, and then buy all the ones. Rob talks about a simultaneous break. Go to where, you know what I mean? And then you can work all the ones that have the same chart condition as the main ETF. And you're doing it, man. That's great.
It would be pointless to have the sector performance up if you're not even going to be able to find the stocks immediately that, you know what I'm saying, that's going.
Yeah, and that's perfect. And that's perfect. I like it. And you're not buying a bunch of crap that's red. Your sector indicator says it's red. I'm gonna start buying the dip on this stuff. That's stupid. You know what I mean?
Man, crazy story is there's this guru type person. Somebody had put it in the group I'm in, but she lost like 155K like the dip on Tesla, I think.
That's sad.
When the dip kept dipping, lose 100K.
When the deep dip keeps dipping. Hey, I do make a lot of jokes. I'm gonna say that right now. I do make a lot of jokes out on Twitter, and then we do. But this is real money. You know what I mean? And so that's why we preach. That's why we're giving you the knowledge. Hey, this is what a reversal is. This is how you get in on something. You know what I mean? Or here, look at the higher time frames. Why are you buying this? You know what I mean? There is no actionable signals in on this. So we do joke around just to keep the thing, keep trading light and fun. But we ain't making fun of nobody losing a lot of money. But that's why we're here. And that's why you're here, Ray. I just want to see people win. I don't want to see people lose like that. That's amazing. That's crazy, man. Go ahead. Keep going, man. I just want to say that we're out here for a good reason.
Right. And so for like besides the sector performance indicator, another indicator that helps, especially with the squeeze and stuff like that, is let me see, this CD, average daily range zones, because sometimes things will hit that average daily range high or low and kind of like bounce off of it and either keep going or not keep going. So like an example of that was, let me put it on this one right here. Oxy, that day that it went the 2 down 2 up reversal that made it go 3 on the month. I mean, not 3 on the month, 3 on the week. You see how it breaks above the average daily range zone and then it keeps going. A lot of times, some things won't. So like the day before, it kind of like breaks above it, but barely kind of stays above it. But on that day, obviously with the squeeze and stuff like that, it kept going. Or how it basically bounced off of here and did like a 3-2 reversal. So it kind of helps you understand, like, all right, which is it really breaking out? Are we really running all day?
Mm-hmm.
Versus, all right, it might get here. So it can also give you a good idea of where to stop, where to potentially take profit, especially, with options, how, like Gunny was saying, you have to have something else. If you're buying a
Yeah.
weekly contract or you're 0 daying on a Friday, this is something that's important to know, because you would hate to, like, this happened on a Friday and you thought you were going to hold it and it kept going and it just tapped it and then dropped.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly. It's
So,
like you got James Bradley out here, Jim Bradley out here. He's a pilot, commercial pilot, and he's
yo,
got
yeah.
all these gauges out on there. And he knows that at a certain amount of feet in the air, oxygen gets thin. He knows that. He's been a pilot for years. He's got that knowledge. But at the same time, he's worried about so many different things. There is a gauge that tells you what is going on with the oxygen. You know what I mean? And I like what you're doing here, because again, you're thinking about a lot of different things, and all you're using these tools is just the gauge on the. It's just, you're not necessarily trading this thing. It's just a gauge that says, hey, you might want to think about cutting this thing, because it might not go any further. And it's just another tool. I like that. I like that a lot. We do have a thing about indicators. I used to say all the time, I'm an indicator hater. It's more, but that was more about people trading just indicators. You're using them as a tool to confirm what you're already seeing. And again, it's just another blinking light that says, hey, you know what I mean? Be careful. And I like, and that's how you're using those tools to help you. I like that, instead of the tool using you. That's what I like, man. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Keep
so
going,
like
man.
most of the stuff that I'm using is based on price action. So like, for instance, that
Mhm.
high and low is basically almost like an ADR ATR thing. So
Mhm.
it's based off of it's set once that day opens, it's set almost like
The
with
pivots.
the pivots, like I use
Yeah.
those too. Those are
Mhm.
automatically set. It's based on price. So the
Yeah.
only in the true indicator that I'm actually using would be the non-estimate, and that's a lagging
Mhm.
indicator, just
Mhm.
simply almost like a trail stop, but more so to see actually is it actually directional. And
Right.
that's literally it. Everything else is based on that price. Besides, obviously, the TTM squeeze is based on it's already has set values going into that day. So all I really got to do is turn it on and really just mark it with lines, and I
I
turn it
like
right
it.
back off. That's
I
the
like it.
beautiful thing about TradingView versus Thinkorswim. You can't
Mhm.
hide an indicator on Thinkorswim, but on TradingView, you can hide all the ones you don't care about right now.
Yeah, it's
And
very
that's
versatile.
yeah, so that's the beauty of it, because you don't want to have too much stuff on your charts to where it gets confusing. Like, it's just, all right, I'm getting where area where price might not go no more. All
Mhm.
right, let me just
Mhm.
remember that in this range, blah blah blah, and then you turn it off.
I like it. I
Versus,
like how you're doing that. Again, you're flying, man. You're flying, and you're checking your gauges. I'm checking your gauges. This thing ain't got to be blinking all the time. I know what it's for, but when it does start blinking, I'm looking. Oh, okay, all right. We're gonna, you know what I mean. And now we need to start making decisions.
right,
And that's awesome. Again, that's you using your tools as opposed to the tools using you. And that's another thing too. I like what you said about not having all this crap on the charts. Well, because or only you check it, you know what I mean? Gives you the information that you need, and then you turn it off. And then you turn it off. So that way you can see what's really going on. And it's just like I love it. Again, your tools you are using your tools. Someone says in the chat you can hide indicators in Thinkorswim, but hey, I'm going with what Ray said. I said he said you
you
can't,
can.
so you can't.
It didn't. I might not know how to then, because I've never seen like how to like actually just like hide it real quick, because you have to go in
Right.
studies. Maybe you probably can, but I've usually you have to exit it, take it
Mhm.
completely off your chart, and
Give
then
me
put
some
it back
more.
on.
Heck yeah, man. We're getting close. Give me some more questions in the chat if you got it. Where can we find you, man? Where can we find you out here in the Twitter sphere, actually out here on the internets? Where can we find
Um,
you?
I rarely post on Twitter, but you can find
Mhm.
me at I think my Twitter handle is the Strat Uchiha. So you can find me as the Strat Uchiha on Twitter, and it's the same thing for YouTube.
You do have a YouTube channel. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so just to make it.
Yeah, someone else confirms. Mikey C says, yeah, it's not as easy as Trading View though. That's funny.
Yeah, so yeah, I like Trading View. It's easier, and then the indicators kind of work a little bit better. So, like for instance, I don't know if he said it then because I didn't get to like fully finish watching it, but like using something like the pivot points, like with Jam uses, it's so it doesn't like so like if you want to use yearly or quarterly, Thinkorswim doesn't even have that option for you. As well as they
Right.
don't have the S4, S5. They only have it up to S3 and R3. As well as like if you wanted to see the monthly pivots, well, you can't even see the monthly pivots on the lower time frame in Thinkorswim. It doesn't show
Wow.
up on the 15-minute. So yeah, like I'm always testing to see which one like works better. Like at first I wasn't even using TradingView, but once Jam started talking about the pivot points, I rebought the premium plan for TradingView, and I was like, yeah, I just stick with. Well, I use
Yeah, man.
both. I use both, but I mostly have everything up on TradingView. So like my setup during the day, because I have 3 trading monitors. The vertical monitor I have is just for like reading the Discord chat or whatnot. But like I have the other 2 screens as Thinkorswim charts.
Heck yeah.
Because I like to. So like one of the things that you should always do is know your risk to reward, especially if you're trading options. So like I'm always gonna run to the analyze tab and Thinkorswim and be like, if I hit my mark, how much do I stand to win? And know what my risk is, right?
Yeah.
So if you're like, I'm risking $20 to make $300, that's a great risk. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it'll help you not get shaken out of a trade as easily because
Real
sometimes.
quick.
Go ahead.
No, finish that point, and then I want to go into before we wrap it up. I want to get into how do you find setups.
That's
So,
right.
but you finish your point, and then let's go into how we find setups. How you teach people how to find setups.
It's just because sometimes with like the strat, sometimes people be trying to anticipate something going 2 down. You have this big red inside candle, and they be like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and hop out because the next candle gotta be a 2 down reversal, right? And it go 2 up back to the upside. Like I've seen that happen before. I was like, ooh.
Give me a chart. What you got on the charts?
I don't
Give me
think
Apple.
I have.
Let's look at Apple. Apple went crazy. Apple had earnings, and I was going to talk about Apple, but I'll let you do it. I was going to talk about Apple. Give me if you can give me the you got 3 charts up. Give me the from the left. Give me the day. Now give me the week, day, and then 60 week, day, and I can talk it real quick from your charts, and then you tell me what you see, and then we'll talk about how you help people find setups, because that seems to be your niche. People like that. Yeah, them 60s, boy. Woo! Yeah, look at that. Okay, so and then the daily in the middle. Heck yeah, 2 up on the day. So what I was seeing here is we were already 2 down on the week. Wait, give me the left.
Right here.
Yep, give me. Is that the week?
Yep, that's the week. This is the week right here.
Okay. So we're already 2 down on the week, and it was everybody's waiting on earnings. Everybody's waiting on earnings, and then the next day, earnings come out because we don't buy into earnings. If we don't do that, we don't gamble. And then it goes. It's 2 up on the day. Bam. All right, good. 2 up on the day. Now me and Michael Dang and a lot of other people I got made fun of because of this tweet I sent out on the 60s. Because look at the 60s. All right, drop down to I love that. Make that one the 30s real quick, real fast. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Yep. I like how you got your chart set up like that. So what I saw was you got this big 30 bar, you got this big red bar up, and then that thing was inside bar. It is still inside bar, but it was red. So I'm looking for a 2-1-2 reversal back down, and I got some and I haven't deleted the tweet because I got some flack because they're like, oh, the strat can't look ahead and the strat can't predict. And when you're right, we don't predict. What we do is trade what's happening right now. So I was looking for the reversal to the downside. What happened? It went 2-1-2. As I say, 2-1-2 continuation up. And you could have used that because the inside bars are actionable signals. You could have used that inside bar to get in on that thing. So instead of and that's where the strat, it works for us because then I'm on the 2-1-2 continuation up. I can look at my daily. The daily is green, and I can look at the weekly, and the weekly is green. And I have all reason to believe that this is going to work. And I set my stops, and that's what I did. I set my stops, walked away, and still a winning position for me. I trade common, so I'm just chilling. I don't like all that heart pounding options trading, all that crap. I got too much going on. I used to do that. I'd buy an option, and I got this, and I walk away, and I'm working on, it's the Army, so I'm working on trucks. I'm doing my thing. I'm driving this truck all day long. Come back, and I look at my phone, and I done lost all this money. So that was a little bit, but that was, of course, that was before Strat times. That was before Strat stuff. So my own personal rules. If I'm gonna get in on something and work it, it's gonna be with shares. And then I started working. So now we're all, we're outside month to the downside. I started working SPXS again because I can go long, and I don't have to worry about it. It's not so much fluctuating and things like that. And I can put hard stops in there because I'm looking at the charts all day long. And anyway, I have not deleted that tweet, and I'll keep getting flack on it. I don't care, because what it's doing is forcing people to look at the charts. People, you gotta look at the charts and for yourself. And I'd rather leave that tweet up and get flack for saying this is going to the downside, and actually people actually go to their charts and say, no, this thing went to the upside, and actually them see that 212 continuation up on the 30s for themselves. You know what I'm saying, Ray?
Right. Yep. And it also has a little squeeze going. But as far as
and that squeeze right there, bam. If I bought that call, instead of, if I bought calls and I had that, look at all those TTM bars. That's awesome. I got a reason to. I'm checking my indicators. I'm checking my my tools. Ain't nothing flashing. This thing is good to go, and we're chilling, man. How would you? Did you work Apple at all?
No, I didn't work Apple.
Okay.
I was just in Neo puts. But as far as like how I find plays or whatnot, so I do all my scans and stuff on TrendSpider.
Okay. That's awesome, because we're going to start talking about TrendSpider stuff here in the next few videos or episodes. So you're already doing it. That's awesome.
So like how I like to go about it is I just do like a quick scan in TrendSpider. A lot of times I start on the week, so I just look for week scans. But obviously we're gonna go into a new month, so I would have to look at the month as well.
Okay.
Because we get the new month Tuesday.
Yep. Talking about how to find setups for the next week. Keep going, man.
All right. So like what I'll do is I'll just do a scan. So I start with the bullish 2 down because 2-2 reversals are like my favorite. And then after I go through the bullish 2 down scan, then I do like the bearish 2 up scans. But so like for instance, if I wanted to trade a firm, the first thing I got to do is go check on the option contract, because what I noticed is since I originally started doing like the scans and stuff like that, some of these companies have fallen off to the point where their spreads are ugly. So like for instance, HD used to have good spreads on their option contracts, but then once they blew past the all-time high, it's been kind of like ugly spreads since then.
Yeah. So people trying to, bag holders trying to get their money back. That's what that is.
Right. So like for instance, if Disney was to have, let me check the month. Which is a 3 is red, but we about to get a new month. So that'd be an inside month. That may not be something somebody wants to trade.
Let's talk about, let's exclude the fact that it is at the end of the month, because we do look at that. But let's just say, how would we find a setup for the next week? Just in general. In general, keep it simple.
Yeah, I would just scan for like whatever your favorite setup is. So a lot of times some people like to just trade inside week breaks, but sometimes there isn't many inside week, especially after this type of week that we've had. I doubt there's many inside week breaks. But how I go about it is once I find something that I want to trade, then I'm gonna mark the high and low because I don't have any bias. Because even if it doesn't do the 2-2 reversal and it does the 2-2 continuation on the week, technically it's going to be a reversal on the daily time frame back into continuity. So like let's say this bullish 2 down week on Disney. Well, on the daily chart, you see it's a 3 to the upside. Well, if it went back to the downside, that means it would be reversal, whether it's a 3-2 reversal or a 3-1-2 reversal, however way it reverses back to the downside. Then boom, now you're going with continuity to the downside. Because I always mark both sides.
Okay.
Because with options, I can play both sides. But with shares, some people might not feel comfortable shorting shares. Correct. So with puts, it's like, all right, I'm gonna mark the high and low. So I mark the high and low of the week. I mark the high and low of the daily. Then I go to the 4 hour and I mark the high and low of the 4 hour. Because not like this is a directional 4 hour, but a lot of
Mhm.
times the 4 hour is an inside 4 hour. And let's say I have no setups, like there's no week setup, there's no daily setup. What I do then is I just search for like inside 4 hour candles because that's still an inside break.
Mhm.
Especially if you go look at the week and it was a 2 up week. So that means it would be a 2-2 continuation on the week, but
Yeah.
it's still an inside 4 hour break. So there was a consolidation there. Now I can play that break, and this is where I can get in on a stock that is already winning, as well as if it's in a good sector, a leading sector, because I don't want to just middle of the pack sector. Is this sector leading? Is this sector directional on the year? Like XLE is directional on the year, Oxy
Yep.
directional on the year. I want to trade something that's already directional. Because, like for
Yeah.
instance, a stock that wasn't directional last year that a lot of people didn't like trading was Walmart. But now
Yeah.
Walmart is
Mhm.
doing great this year. Well, was doing great before it fell off. Um,
Falling down the stairs.
exactly, falling down the stairs. So it's like those are the things that you need to know. Most people like get stuck up on the month,
Mhm.
week, day, 1 hour part of the strat, but it's like you
Mhm.
still need to know if it's a directional year. You still need to know if it's a directional quarter, right?
Yep.
Especially at the beginning of the year, going into the new year, there was a lot of inside year breaks to the upside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
XLE
That's
being one of them.
perfect, man. I like that. So you're using. I like how you're using the 4 hour, uh, and then you also talked about. Okay, so there might not be setups. There might not be. That happened to me last week, and then Rob didn't even put out a weekend vid last week just because of the Fed report and all the volatility is crazy right now. There wasn't a lot of inside bars. There wasn't a lot of two downs or two ups, and it was all continuations to the downside. So you're right, but I like how you're using the 4 hour because that's still big enough range, the 4 hour, to be able to say, okay, if this goes two up or two down, and then you're marking those areas on there. And I like how you're trading both ways. We trade what is happening right now. I like that. That's real good. That's good, Ray. Mike C says Ray with the diamonds, dropping all them gems, dropping them gems, boy, in here, all that good stuff. What so that's where we could find you. Can you go ahead and cut your screen share real quick?
Let me see. There we go.
Heck yeah, man. So we could definitely find you on Twitter. We could find you on YouTube. YouTube's probably your main thing, right?
Yep, it's my main thing.
Hey, what's man, there was something out there on Twitter. I can't remember watch list and what was it called?
Oh yeah, watch, listen, chill.
Watch list and chill, boy. That's what I'm talking about. Watch list and chill. That's cool. When do you do and where do you do watch list and chill at?
Yeah, I usually do them on YouTube. Like, so I
Okay.
usually put out like a watch list on Sundays, and then I
Okay.
usually do them Monday through Thursday, obviously, because the market is, it would be dumb to do it on a Friday evening, right? So
Right.
I do it the night before. So like Sunday is usually more of the swing list because that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
focus more so on like the weekly, monthly triggers and whatnot. And then like the day ones that I do, so when I do it Monday night and then Tuesday night, stuff like that, that's more so like the day trading list because
Heck yeah, man.
the Sunday video is gonna have all the weekly setups on it already that I like or will even take. Because I like to
Right.
keep my list to like 5 or maybe, it'd be 7 because I have 2 honorable mentions, but I like to have them small. I don't like to have a long list because it's hard to look at that many.
I can tell, man.
Particularly,
You're a smooth dude. You're just like, yeah, man. We buying puts and we going to the downside. And we working this stuff, and I'm all excited and doing all these things and strat and screaming. Just like, yeah, man. I worked Neo to the downside, man. I cut it and we got back in, made some more money. I'm just like, just chill, man. That's awesome. You got a great personality for trading. That's awesome, man. And we like that strat discipline. It's awesome, and you get it. It's awesome. If we could get you, Gunny B, and myself in the same room and the same, we're gonna be doing some roundtables here pretty soon too. We could use
but
all them military analogies and all that stuff too because it's fun. And again, I'm not worried about. I'm not trading some squiggly wiggly and hoping my Mac. I'm getting in when my MACD curls up and blah blah. Nah, I'm getting in on my hammer and force. I know where to put my stops, and I am. I'm gonna work it. I'm gonna work it to the upside, and I like what you're doing with the TTM as for options as conviction, and then it changes colors as it starts to cool off. I like it. I like it. And you are using your tools, and your tools ain't using you. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show, man. Anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to share? Anything? Last thing, man. Anything else? Someone else, Jack Kaz, man, they work fast in here in the chat. Kaz already has posted your YouTube in the chat, so that's working out there. Say your last name one more time. Hey, I joined the Army for a reason. So if there's words on there I can't pronounce, I ignore it. So how do you say your last name one more time, or your strat name one more time?
Oh,
Say one more.
The Strat Uchiha.
Uchiha. Ooh, Uchiwala. You know, that's
Right, I was on Sarah's live stream. I was on Sarah's YouTube, and
Yeah.
Sarah, before I changed my name to that, she just always Ray Gentsman or whatnot. And I was like, "Hey, Sarah," she was like, "Strat Uchi Coochie, what?" I was like, "Sarah, it's Ray from Twitter." It was funny. She was like, "I do not know how to say that name." That was hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome, boy. I'm telling you what, I had a great time, man. I really did. The chat is cracking up. I'm telling you, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for being on. I'm gonna let you go, and then I got a couple more things to tell the people out here in the chat, man. Thank you so much for being on.
No problem, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks, man. Hey, if you want to get in with Sapir Group and get in with Rob Smith and get in there with us, trade with. We believe that trading is a two-person team. You can do that with Ray too, and it's a two-person team. One person watching the charts, another person executing. You can do that with Rob Smith. He is air traffic control. And if you want to do that and get in on that and see what it's like and get a feel for it, the most popular way to get in on that is using the promo code StratSoldier 2022. That's going to give you 3 months of Rob Smith's live trading room with him directly all day long. And it's going to give you 3 months of him for only $99 per month. Okay, $99 per month for 3 months. That's going to get you started. All right. That also comes with 12 power hours with Rob Smith, where he teaches the strat live on Mondays at 1 hour after the close. There's more, but wait, there's more. You also get a free course, the how to use Smiths in the Black training course that's made just for the people that are just getting the monthlies, that they didn't buy the course or anything like that, Rob's course, but this course is built for you so you can get started quickly. Okay, so you're not getting in there and wondering what's going on. You got a guide. And when Rob says country and Western, you're not just waiting, what's country and Western? There's a glossary in that thing too. Okay. So use it. StratSoldier 2022, no spaces. That's going to get you in there 3 months for only $99 per month. Again, for people that trade percentages, that's 50% off. All right. That's going to get you in. Okay. That's going to get you in. Also check out Michael Dang. He's doing some great stuff. If you're already in there with Rob Smith, Michael Dang's room is $30 a month. I'm telling you, it's cheap, but it's like having a power hour every night. Okay, and that starts at 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so as soon as the market closes, he starts. So if you worked on some trades and things were kind of weird and you don't know why, you can get on there with Michael Dang and be like, hey, Dang, and then the group is getting bigger in there, and they're asking them questions. Why did this go down? Why did this reverse on me? Or this did well, and then I didn't know where to take profits. He can tell you that stuff that day. Okay. So if you can't get in, and Mondays are big days. Okay. So because you're working with Rob all day, then you're working with Michael Dang, and then you're getting on with Rob again with the power hour. And I'm always there in the forums. You also get the forums, and you also get Sepia Social, okay? And that's a great place to keep posting stuff and talk about the strat and get your questions answered. Because I don't know, it seems like when the market closes, everybody turns to they start posting politics and all that crap. You don't have to deal with all that stuff here in Sepia Group, okay? If you want to try, also you've seen Ray talk about TrendSpider. If you want to try TrendSpider, you can get 25% off TrendSpider using a promo code StratSoldier. That'll give you 25% on TrendSpider. And I also got something for TradingView if you like TradingView. I'm telling you, he already showed you TTM. He showed you a couple other indicators. That sector indicator, that thing is really cool. Get with me on Twitter. There's like a big long link for TradingView. I gotta give it to you. It's easy. It's easy though. For TradingView, that'll get you 25% on that as well. And honestly, it's just I'm here to help you win. I'm here to help you win, and anything I could do to help you get in without, spending a ton of money, I'm gonna help you do that, okay? Because I'm here for you. I am the Strat Soldier with the weekend shift. Big things for next week. Look for Rob's video for the weekend vid where he comes out for the setups for next week. It should be coming out later today. We're looking at everything. You saw me talk about the SPY. We're looking for a 2-2 reversal up on the SPY. So look for anything. Look for anything on the week with a 2-2 reversal up. Okay. We're all looking at Apple. Okay. We are all looking at Apple. And then that thing will come out. I wanted to give Ray give him time to talk about all that stuff. So we didn't talk about setups for next week, but there's a guide. Okay. Maybe I'll do a bonus video with just the setups for next week. We will see, but definitely look for Rob's. I'll be retweeting it. Thanks for everybody being in the chat. This was awesome. This was fun. Any final questions? I'll be in the chat for a few more minutes. And then, of course, you always got the forums. StratSoldier 2022. 3 months. Rob Smith, $99 per month. Do it. This is the StratSoldier with the weekend shift. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. This is a great time. Always. This is the StratSoldier. Peace.